There are 28 possible ways to checkmate someone in chess, each with their own unique positions and setups, ranging from simple checkmates that you get every day, to weird checkmates that don't really make any sense, to extremely rare and difficult ones that even top grandmasters have never gotten. So I decided for this video I would try and get every single checkmate in chess, to see if it was even possible for a normal person like me to get all 28 of these achievements. So sit back, relax, get a snack, and put this video on full screen, because here's the story of how I got every single possible checkmate in chess. The first few checkmates on our list look pretty easy, so I just decided to start off with those, beginning with a rook and queen checkmate. And all we have to do to get this is just load into a game, and we kind of just have to win. And if you seriously thought that this rook and queen checkmate would be easy, well, you would be completely correct, because it only took me 3 minutes for me to get this mate. And if you're wondering, yes, this is actually how fast we play this game, it's not sped up at all. Alright, we got the checkmate. That's just the first one out of many that we have to do for this video though, so let's just move on to the next one. Which is the king and queen checkmate, where you use, well, your king and queen to get a checkmate. This one should have been easy since it was only second on the list, but it ended up taking me 30 entire minutes to get. Mainly because a lot of this stuff happened. Alright, we do get a free queen. Hopefully he doesn't resign here, because we kind of... But it's okay, because only like 50 more games later, I finally found the checkmate I was looking for. Finally, we got the checkmate. Alright. Next up, we had one of my favorite checkmates of all time, the back rank checkmate, where the king is trapped behind his own pieces and checkmated. The most important thing about this checkmate is that you need your opponent to castle, and luckily for me, my opponent did this pretty early on. Okay, he castled, which is good. So now I need his king to go here so we can back rank him. Now I just need this guy's king to move over one square so I could successfully violate him on the back rank, and somehow he did. Wait, this actually is so good. We can take his rook, but we're not going to do that. We're going to go here, he take, we take, checkmate, we bake. Oh my gosh. First try back rank. Literally my first game I played, I got that checkmate, and for the next 4 mates, we're going to speedrun them since they were also pretty quick and easy. Starting off with a rook and king mate, which I got in my first game, but I made it way closer than I had to. Wait, I think we got it. I blundered that. I'm not smart. Oh my gosh, 0.4 seconds left. I am not an intelligent life form, but I still got the checkmate. Next up was the lawnmower or ladder checkmate. That's checkmate right there, and this is... Okay, we did it. Great success. Next checkmate. The bishop and queen checkmate is next, where you get this battering ram setup and launch your queen at the enemy king, getting an easy victory royale. Or at least that's what's supposed to happen if you know what you're doing. Please don't take my bishop. Oh my gosh, bro. Why? But it's okay though, because I got it in the next game. Okay, we have it set up perfectly. Hopefully he just doesn't see it. And he does not see it. I mean, I told you guys it will only work on a low-rated player. Great success. Next checkmate. And for the final easy checkmate, the H-file mate, where you get to checkmate on, well, the H-file. Honestly, I don't even know why this is on the checkmate list, but it is, and it was pretty easy. If he takes, we take our queen, that's checkmate. But that was all for the easy level checkmates. Now we're going to go into the intermediate level mates, starting off with the kill box mate, which already sounds pretty intimidating, but you just need to use your queen and rook to get this checkmate box. And in order to get this in a real game, I don't know how easy it will be, because the chances of my opponent resigning are super high. I was already having some doubts about this checkmate, but I did at least have a plan. Our strategy for this game is basically just to take every single one of my opponent's pieces so that he only has his king, and I just use my queen and rook to get the mate. Now my plan was actually going pretty well. I managed to trade off a lot of our unnecessary pieces, and all I had to do now was promote to a queen. As long as my opponent didn't do something like giving up on the game and letting all his time run out, everything would be fine and I would be able to get this checkmate Okay, well, we might have got that checkmate there if this guy just did not give up on life. I was super close to getting the checkmate in that game. If I just played a few more games, I would surely get it pretty soon, right? Wrong. What is this? I was so close. Oh. Okay. It turns out most people don't like it when you try and get a cool checkmate on them, so they just resign the game. And because of this, it actually took me 30 more minutes of playing blitz games until I finally found the right opponent. And during this game, I was looking a little bit depressed, but that's what happens when you play chess all day and don't go outside and don't eat anything and don't have any will to live. Okay, we actually have the perfect position here. Our queen needs to go up, bing. Our rook needs to go bing, chilling, and we got it. One more move is all we need. That's all I want in life, just one move. After that checkmate was a pretty common one, the lolly's mate, where you use your pawn and queen to checkmate the opponent's king. And since I'd gotten this many times before, I thought this would be easy. I was beginning to think this challenge may have not been a good idea, but it was kind of too late to turn back now. Okay, everything is in position. Our queen is attacking here. All we have to do is hit for move. What I was trying to say was I needed this knight to move so that my queen could deliver the checkmate. My opponent did put me in check, but just a few moves later... Yes! That is checkmate, and that is the lolly's mate, the checkmate that we need. Pawns here, king trapped, queen there, checkmate. That was a pretty cool checkmate, but another cool thing is that our channel is growing super quickly, and our next milestone is 100,000 subscribers. So if you want to say that you were here before we reach 100k, go ahead and subscribe right now while you can. But back to the video, because next I had to get one of the most infuriating and useless checkmates of all time, the dovetail mate, where the king has to be checkmated with these two pieces trapping him, forming this triangle shape, which doesn't even really look like a dovetail in the first place. And after my first opponent resigned, 12 moves into the game, this guy resigns. What even? The second one gave up on life, and the third one took my queen, so I couldn't even get this checkmate now. I realized two things. First, these checkmates were a lot harder than I thought. Second, the election was coming up very soon, and I forgot to run for president. And third, and most importantly, I needed to get my opponent's king out into the center of the board in order to get this checkmate. So that was my new plan. I tried to do this for many games until I got into this one, and I actually prevented this guy from castling.
Okay, his king's moving towards the center. That's good.
And now I just needed to find a way to get the dovetail checkmate. As long as I didn't do something like trapping my queen, this should be pretty easy.
I think I trapped my queen.
That was honestly just a skill issue there, but since I realized what I actually had to do now, the next game went much better.
We are aggressively winning here, so let's hopefully we can get this checkmate.
Even though my English speaking abilities were completely failing, I was getting super close to getting this checkmate.
Okay, all we need is get our queen here, then we have this dovetail formation. We're so close. We just need our queen here and we got it. No, oh my gosh, he moved the pawn.
Now that he had moved that pawn, there was no dovetail shape. But I did still have two bishops, and we did have a double bishop checkmate on our list.
There is another checkmate that we need to get, which is the double bishop checkmate. So wait, we actually might be able to get that this game.
So I just traded off the other pieces and chased my enemy king all around the board into a corner.
Yes! Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, that's one of the harder ones, so I'm glad we got it early. That's actually really lucky.
We just got one of the difficult level checkmates, which is pretty inspirational, but I still did have to get the dovetail checkmate. And since I kind of knew the strategy now, it only took me a couple more games before I got it.
Perhaps this, it might tempt him to go here, then here is checkmate. We got it, guys. That's the one we needed. Dovetail checkmate completed.
Next, we needed the triangle checkmate, which makes way more sense than the dovetail mate because this is all you need for it.
For this one, we just have to win and take all his pieces, and we should be able to get it pretty easily. Of course, if he doesn't resign the game.
I had my plan and it was going really well. I just needed my queen to rook for this mate, so as long as I didn't do something like trading off my queen, everything would be fine. Whoops, I traded off my queen. Everything is not fine. It's okay though because I just made a new one, proving that all women are replaceable. Anyways, my opponent did not resign and I got the checkmate in my first try.
Nice. Alright, that's a triangle checkmate. That was super easy.
And since I got this on the edge of the board, it also counts as a railroad checkmate, which means next we need to get the Damiano's mate, where your pawn traps your opponent's king and your queen delivers the checkmate. And for this, I did come up with the 2000 IQ plan.
I do have a strategy for getting this though. I'm just gonna push like all my pawns wherever he castles so that it'll be super easy to just get the checkmate.
Now maybe that was only a 2 IQ strategy because my first game, this guy's king escaped from behind his pawns and I could not get the mate. The next game, my opponent just decided he would not be castling and kept his king in the center of the board, so I just got this checkmate instead.
That's too easy.
The next few games I just continued to fail until this game where I got my opponent's queen for free. I pushed this pawn forward and was only a few moves away from getting this mate. As long as my opponent didn't do something like resigning, everything would be fine. I took a little break as you can tell by my different clothing, and my first game back something very strange happened.
Wait, that's technically the checkmate.
Technically, this was the right position I needed for the checkmate, and I had one in that position, but I knew any honest man would not count this as a checkmate, and continue trying.
We're counting that, alright, we're gonna count that one.
Which meant next on our list was the blind swine mate, one of my favorite checkmates where we have 2 rooks on this rank and checkmate the enemy king. And I was pretty confident that this would be easy.
And I've actually gotten this a bunch of times. All you basically need is 2 rooks on the 7th rank, and it's not too hard to get.
Unfortunately, my confidence in my abilities and my actual abilities are very different. This was attempt number 1.
Dang it.
Dang it was right, because this was attempt number 2.
Why do I always win on time, though?
And in attempt number 3, I just lost both my rooks for some reason.
Oh no, he took my rook.
And since 3 is the highest number I can count to, I don't even know how many more games I played until I got into this one. And I actually came up with a genius plan, if I do say so myself.
Bing, bang, bing, bing, bong. That's
What?
it. That's our plan.
Now, the unenlightened probably don't understand what I just said, and I don't understand what I said either, but this plan was actually working somehow.
Yes, we got it. It's done. I'm gonna pre-move it. I have to do that. There it is.
And while that checkmate was kind of well known, the next one was the most famous checkmate in all of chess, the Scholar's Mate, which is just how you win a chess game in literally 4 moves, and it works against all low-rated people.
Alright, this person is literally 172 elo. They have to fall for it.
This guy actually blocked the checkmate, but since I never gave up at anything, including Jack's fraud, I kept trying until I got it.
Alright, we didn't get it in the first 4 moves of the game, but this is still the Scholar's Mate setup.
And since that was all for the intermediate level checkmates, it was now time to do all of the advanced ones. Starting off with the Legal's Mate, which is basically an opening trap, which I just got against my friend. And this guy does actually have a YouTube channel, so if you guys play Minecraft, you should go subscribe to him.
And then, I believe here should theoretically be checkmate. Yes, okay, that is the Legal's mate.
And of course, we can't forget the Fool's Mate where you win the game in just 2 moves. Now, I was planning on skipping this one since it's literally impossible to get in a real game unless you play someone with negative IQ. But when I was going for a different checkmate, this happened.
Wait, is he gonna let me get this checkmate? Okay.
I guess I had somehow gotten the Fool's Mate, but this was too much information for my brain cell to handle, so I just moved on to the next checkmate, which was the Pillsbury Mate, where you sacrifice an entire rook to get a checkmate.
I've never gotten this my entire career as a human, so I have no idea how I'm gonna even do this.
Nevertheless, I set out on my journey to get this checkmate, and in order to actually get this, you need one of your bishops attacking the same diagonal direction that your enemy king castles, so that's what I was going to be trying to do every game. In this first game, I had everything I needed, but my opponent decided that I needed one more thing. Crippling depression. A few games later, I got close again until I did this.
Yikes, that was not good. Okay, first of all, I accidentally checkmated him.
But the next game, I managed to find inner peace and do this.
Hold on, I'm just gonna sacrifice everything real quick. Okay, so I think we go bing, double check, he has to take with his king, bing, that's the check, we got it. I mean, that he might resign, but I'm gonna count that. Look at this. He can't do anything. Ooh. Ooh. That is a crispy checkmate.
That ended up being actually one of my favorite checkmates, and I ended up getting 2 brilliancies from that game. Truly a Carl Magnuson moment. But next up on the advanced checkmate list is the Smother Mate, which I tried to get in a previous video, but failed miserably. Like, what even is that? So my goal here was to redeem myself from that disgusting checkmate and get a real smothered checkmate where I actually sacrifice my queen and get this satisfactory moment. However, things were not off to a strong start.
Alright, he just gave up on life.
The next game though, the checkmate was literally within my grasp.
Wait, we actually could have a super interesting possibility for a smother mate already.
All I had to do was move my knight here, check, his king will move here, I go here, double check, his king has to move here, I go queen here, only moves to capture a knight here, smother checkmate, easy victory royale. As long as it didn't do something like moving his queen here, everything would be fine.
No, his queen is there. Okay, we can't have his queen there.
I kind of tried to get his queen out of there, but my plans failed miserably, and I kind of just lost hope in life after that. The next game I had nearly the exact same setup, but unforeseen circumstances transpired.
Oh, wait. If he just doesn't take it with a rook, we're good.
So I continued on my checkmate journey, and a lot of people wonder if while I'm playing these games I ever feel any hatred for my opponents for not letting me get the checkmates that I need. And to that I say, I never have hatred for any of my opponents, or anybody in the world for that matter.
Okay. Of course he has to do this. I hate this man with my whole heart.
It's okay though, because only like 500 hours later, I ended up getting to a game against Enzyme Gardenator, and everything was set up perfectly.
Wait, this is it. If we can please just get this move, we get it. Wait, he just let us get it, right? So we don't take his queen, instead we go here. Bing, he has to go there. Double check, he can't go there, he has to go there. Brilliancy. Oh! And then... That took way too long to get, first of all.
And since the king was in the corner of the board when we got that checkmate, we can also count this for the corner mate, which means next up on the list is the Vukovic mate. Yeah, I don't know who invents these names, but you just need to win where your rook and knight are in this formation checkmating the king.
And I don't think I've ever gotten this checkmate before in my entire lifetime, so I have no idea how hard this is even going to be.
The tricky thing about this checkmate is that you need at least one of your knights to be alive and at least one of your rooks. Unfortunately, I forgot about this and traded off both my knights 11 moves into the game.
Alright, I just realized I accidentally just traded off both my knights, which I kind of need for the checkmate. That's a 0 IQ moment.
I thought I could just like promote to another knight, but my opponent crushed my dreams and hopes for the world. The next guy I was completely beating, but instead of resigning, he made me wait an entire minute and a half for his time to run out. But it's okay, because only like 407,000 games later, I got into this game. And here's a free inspirational quote by me.
Let's try not to trade off my knights this game.
Somehow I actually managed not to trade off any of my knights and keep one rook alive.
Right here, that's all we need, just this move. That's it. That's the checkmate we want.
But since that last checkmate was a little complicated, I decided the next one would be a simpler one. The Balustrade Mate. And all you need for this is a queen and bishop. All I needed was for my opponents not to resign against me, and this should be pretty simple.
Wait, we actually might not need to take all his pieces to get this. We just need our...
But it's okay, because 13 years later, I finally found a game where someone didn't resign. And while I play this game, if you guys are wondering why I'm so low rated, or why I'm playing super low rated people, it's because doing these weird chess challenges makes my rating drop faster than my will to live, and in order to get these checkmates, you kind of have to play low rated people.
Wait, no, this is the checkmate. Yes!
The Arabian Mate was next on our achievement list, and to do this you need to use your knight and rook to trap the enemy king and violate him in a corner of the board. I don't even know why it's called the Arabian Mate. That checkmate doesn't even look very Arabian to me, but I ended up getting this mate when I was going for a completely different one. So it was a very unexpected accident, probably like a lot of you guys out there.
We're going in this game for the Arabian Mate, which is with a knight and rook. So we have to push the king into the corner and then... Okay, here we go. Then rook here is checkmate. There it is.
But now that I had finished all the advanced level checkmates, it was now time to move on to the impossible level checkmates. Now 4 of these I had already gotten in previous videos, which were the en passant checkmate, the castling mate, the double disambiguated mate, and the knight and bishop checkmate. But there were still 2 that I had not yet gotten, the epaulette mate and the 2 knights versus 1 pawn mate. I decided to start off with the easier of the 2, the epaulette mate, where the enemy king is trapped between 2 of his own pieces by our queen. Now while I try to get this checkmate, the reason why it's so hard to get is because the opponent's king isn't usually in the center of the board, and they don't usually trap themselves with 2 pieces like this. The good thing is though, you don't need to be completely winning to get the checkmate, meaning I don't have to worry about my opponents resigning. This guy did run out of time though. Alright, so I decided to move on to a longer time control and actually played against Magnus himself. But maybe he was just having a bad day because he kind of blundered his queen in the first few moves of the game.
Alright, he blundered his queen 5 moves into the game.
He also was just keeping his king in the center of the board, which was perfect for my life goals.
Go here, bing, he takes with rook, and then we just take here. Jallelujah.
I not only got a very rare and difficult checkmate, but I also got it against the real Magnus Carlsen. That's pretty cool. But now it's time for what is widely considered to be the most difficult checkmate in all of chess. The 2 knights versus 1 pawn mate. And this definitely didn't take me many days to get.
Now I've never gotten this checkmate ever in my entire life before, so this is gonna be kind of difficult. I guess the goal is to trade off every single piece besides both my knights and obviously one of my opponent's pawns and try to get the checkmate.
Now the reason why this is so difficult is because if you only have 2 knights versus an enemy king, it's actually a draw. But since your opponent has a pawn, it's now not a draw. You have to stalemate the opponent's king, they have to move their pawn, and then you're able to checkmate them. But the difficult part is that you have to force them to move into the corner of the board, which is kind of impossible. And in my first game, I figured this out pretty quickly.
He takes my pawn, he's really close to a corner.
Getting into the right endgame was actually the easy part, but with over 6 minutes on the clock, I cannot figure out how to get the enemy king into the corner of the board, and just kind of gave up on life.
Yeah, that's over, man. Dang it, I need to watch a tutorial on this.
So I watched a tutorial and now felt pretty confident in my ability to get the checkmate. I just needed to get into the right endgame again, and this should be easy.
If I fail one of these games, I will seriously resign from life.
After that, I should not have kept playing. I should not have continued to torture myself. I shouldn't have done a lot of things in my life. I shouldn't have committed tax fraud for starters. But I did all those things, and I would not stop doing these things until I got this checkmate.
I'm mentally not well, okay?
The thing was, I could consistently get into the endgame, where I had 2 knights and my opponent had a pawn. But even though I had to watch the tutorial and everything, I could never get the enemy king into the corner of the board to checkmate him.
I hate my life, okay? Let's get that cleared away.
So I decided to myself that I just wasn't desperate enough. If this was a life or death situation, I would be able to get this checkmate. So the new plan was I would not eat or drink anything until I had gotten this checkmate. And this actually worked, because after struggling for a while, only a week later I got into this game. Like many times previously, I got into the correct endgame with 2 knights versus 1 pawn.
This is the moment we've all been waiting for. I'm gonna have to 100% focus here.
But this time I kept track of every square that my opponent could move to and all the squares that I was covering. I was 110% focused here. This was the moment my entire life had led up to.
Wait, we have it. Is that checkmate? Hold on, bing.
And with that checkmate, I had successfully gotten every single mate in all of chess. And if you guys want to see me beat every chess variant on chess.com, watch this video right here.